If you've watched this channel for any period of time, you know the Super NES and the Super Famicom is my favorite system of all time. And one of the big reasons behind it is this guy here, the original Super Nintendo controller. For me, it's the perfect controller. The face buttons are well placed, well sized, well balanced. I love the fact that you have the concave and convex buttons so you can feel your way around without having to physically look at the controller. The shoulder buttons are the perfect size, the perfect distance from the center line and everything. And overall, this is just one of, if not my favorite controller of all time. Hey everybody, Gary here with Rocksolid Productions. I hope you are doing well today. Thank you for stopping by and checking out our video here. Now, in addition to the original Super Nintendo controller, there's a ton of third-party knockoffs. For some reason, few get the button configuration right with concave convex. A lot of them opt instead to use the Super Famicom colored buttons and use one button shape. Not as big of a fan of that. But the folks over at Retrobit have recently gone ahead and sent us two of their new Legacy 16 controllers. And the wonderful thing about this is the fact that there's both a wired and a wireless version that are both designed to work with the original Super Nintendo plus USB equipped devices. So we're going to go ahead, throw these on the bench, check and see how they come out of the box. Now, before we do that, back behind me we have Mega Man X playing on our Japanese Super Famicom. And what I want to know from you here today, in the Mega Man X series, what was your favorite? I have to admit, I never got into the Mega Man X series as much as the original Mega Man series. So for me, probably the original X is my favorite because I always kind of considered that to be the closest continuation to the original. But again, let me know what you think down below in the comment section. So again, thanks to Retrobit for sending us these to check out. Let's go ahead, hit the bench, and take a closer look. So as you can see, we have both the wireless and the wired version here, and they are available in two different colors. You have the classic gray and the onyx black on here, and they're both available in both colors. Now they're both a part of their Platinum collection, which means higher quality, better D-pad, better buttons, better responsiveness, overall a higher quality of controller in here. We're going to set the wireless one aside for now. We're going to start with the wired. We're going to get out our handy dandy X-Acto knife. Now in here we have a thank you for your purchase card. Wired controller with USB ports, so this one is USB only. And then nice, looks like about a 10-foot long cord on here. Good feel. Now it does have both L and R, but it also has ZL and ZR, so perfect for use on the Switch. Has a home and a capture button on here. Oh, thank you, Retrobit. Concave and convex buttons. Check that out. Now, they're not purple like what we had on the original, which I have right there, but I'm okay with this gray. I'd honestly really like to see someone eventually do these shapes with the Famicom or Super Famicom button colors. Now one thing I will say is this part of the controller has a bit of a texture to it. It also feels kind of tall, or like the buttons are sunk in, the D-pad and the buttons are sunk in, like the travel isn't quite as far before it reaches this part of my thumb or gets to that part as on the original. So overall pretty simple and straightforward on the wired. But now this one. This is the one that I am geeked out about because it does not only the USB side of things, but also the Super NES port too. And again, we also have our, thank you for your purchase, your instruction manual. In addition to that, you have, oh, I like that. It's USB-C for charging. Thank you, Retrobit. There's something else floating around in here. Just the FCC ID card, so that's fine. Let's flip that over. Look at that. That's a sharp looking controller. And then you do have the dongle in here for the Super NES and for Bluetooth as well. I wonder if this would work with like the TurboGrafx 16 Mini or the Genesis Mini too. Now one difference on this controller versus the wired USB controller, as you can see, the wireless version has built-in analog sticks, so that placement's really comfortable too. I will say the L and R are smaller front to back than what's on here. This is probably closer to the actual Super NES controller, but that is because they put the ZL and ZR triggers right behind it. It's not cramped, but it is crowded, I will say. But I do like this better than having to reach further inside to get the ZL and ZR buttons. Let's see how that does on fighting games. LED indicator on the bottom for letting you know what player you are. They do click in, and again you have your capture and home button. Still concave and convex on the buttons, which I really, really dig. Start and select are nice and clicky, and now it's searching for a receiver. Same thing on this, as it feels like the D-pad or the buttons are not quite as tall as on the original. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to charge this up, and we're going to do some testing on the Super NES, Super Famicom, and the Switch. So we are going to go ahead and start off with the Super Famicom with Bonk on the Super Famicom. If you haven't seen the video where I picked this up, I will have that link for you right up there. Now, this is one of those games that, again, it just looks beautiful on this system. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about how good the Super NES and other games look going through the RetroTink 5X, but man, this looks great. Now, unfortunately, it is in Japanese, and I don't read Japanese. I will say button presses feel great. There we go. Took a little bit to get there, but we got there. And we got the wall jumps working well, too. Oh, we got another upgrade. Yeah, I will say button presses and everything feel exactly as they should. Like, it's kind of funny with the, there we go. The anime eyes kind of going on there. Yeah, loving what I'm getting so far. I don't even know what just happened there. Bonk is now a bird. Like I say, this is one of those games I just recently purchased back in April of 2021, I want to say. And I have not had a chance to play it that much. But it's great like the rest of the series. Okay, I'm going to spend way too long playing this if I don't move on. So let's move on. How about some Mario Kart? So we're diving into the original. I'm going to do some 50cc Grand Prix. And again, it's one of those, let's see if the analog sticks work on here. Sure do. So on here, I will tell you the ZL and ZR buttons work exactly as L and R, so that's a good thing. I was just trying to power slide around that corner where I was counter steering and everything because I was playing some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe earlier tonight. Fantastic. This is truly wonderful. I mean, the play control is tight, the buttons are responsive. Both the D-pad and the analog stick feel great. I mean, yeah, I could not ask for a whole lot more as I'm coming up to lap Toad. And I don't have a real major preference between the D-pad or the analog stick. The D-pad is definitely the more natural placement just because as I drive right into that. No! Come back here, DK! Alright, we took the win there. Now one of the things I want to do is I want to try out Street Fighter, just because fighting games are definitely one of those type of genres, easy for me to say, that will kind of underscore whether or not there's any button delay or mismatching or anything like that to that. So we're going to switch over to our American Super NES and try out some Street Fighter. We're going to do Street Fighter 2, The New Challengers. We're just going to Super Battle with Ryu. So I can try the Hadouken. Yeah, all of the inputs and everything are working great. I mean, I'm pulling off the Hadouken. I can pull off the Dragon Uppercut. This is terrific. Got him! Pretty stinking good there. Ooh, he got me there. Oh! Damn! Swept the leg, Johnny. Got him! That was damn impressive. I am really liking how this is performing so far. So next up, we're going to try it on our Nintendo Switch, and we're also going to try out the USB variant too. USB controller plugged right in, working just great. The home button does work, as you can see here. What can we go into? You know what? Let's go into the Super Nintendo games and kind of see how it plays on that. Well, we had gone ahead and played some Super Mario Kart on actual hardware. We're going to go ahead and play some Super Mario World real quick here on the Switch and kind of see how it plays. I mean, it feels like a Super NES controller. That's wonderful. Wow, that bat just about got me. Got him. Yeah, D-pad feels terrific on this. The button presses are spot on. Yeah, I am very happy with this. Now, I wish that Retrobit would actually take and do a wired or wireless version exactly like this. Oh, didn't see the bat up top. Because for me, like, I don't care about the analog sticks. I actually prefer this button layout and everything myself. Oh, as I jumped into a bat. Now, can I get to... That's the suspend menu. There we go. Oh, that's actually very nice that I can get back to the game selection that way too. Let's try some Donkey Kong Country. We'll just jump into one of the levels here real quick. I mean, you saw there kind of jumping back and forth between the, the different enemies there and whatnot, and being able to kind of move the D-pad left and right to get where I needed to. Select, yeah, select is what switches us from one to the other. Dang it, can't quite get up there, and I don't think you can pick that up. Yeah, this is, oh, better than I am. I will tell you that point. Let's go one more game selection on here. We'll do Super Punch-Out real quick. Yeah, again, button presses are just fine on this. Knocked him down pretty quickly there. All right, so let's go back to the home screen. You know what, let's try the Castlevania collection real quick, and we're gonna finish it up, and we're actually gonna switch real quick to the wireless version. Now, one thing when going from the Super NES to the USB dongle, you do have to repair them. Just hit the button on each dongle, hit the start button, and you're good to go. Took seconds to do, which is really, really nice. I am very, very happy with this controller so far. Yeah, I mean, I can do the whip trick and everything just like with the wired controllers. I do prefer the shoulder button layout of the wired version. I thought that I would actually like this one better, but I actually like the wired layout a little bit better just because of the fact the shoulder buttons, which are what I use most often, are more pronounced and they feel closer to the original. Now, these are not bad, I just prefer those. And I can do that jump and downward angle on the whip attack, which is always a good thing. Yeah, I mean, button presses again, spot on. D-pad feels good. I do wish, again, as I mentioned on the bench, that the D-pad and the buttons had a little bit more throw, or the gap between them and the top of the controller were a little bit greater. I mean, that's a minor nitpick. Overall, you hit a button responds, which is exactly what you want. And there you saw me throw the knife at the bat. I just used the R button. And R is not doing anything in here, so that's interesting to note that on the Switch, that it, you know, unlike the Super NES where the ZL and ZR act as L and R, it does not in the Switch, and that's probably because the Switch actually has support for those button sorts. So that makes more sense. There we go. I mean, yeah, I'm super happy with these. Now, I will say that I was talking to my friend Chris, who runs another channel called Game Dad. If you've never heard of them, make sure that you check him out. He's like me, except for younger, more hair, better looking. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, I know that he had asked me if I had had any issues with either of these controllers with the Switch. I guess he had some issues, and I have not. I will say my performance has been exactly what I expected, and I'm loving how they work. I know he was reaching out to our friends over at Retrobit to check and see if there's something that, you know, was going on with his particular controller, but I will say I have had 0 issues here, and I'm glad to report that. Ooh, I almost jumped off of there too soon. All right, so our initial thoughts on this. What do I think of both of them? Like I mentioned, I do like the shoulder buttons better on the wired controller, and the overall button feel between both of them virtually identical. I mean, the ABXY, the shoulder buttons, as far as just their responsiveness, the D-pad, they feel the same. Now, the positioning of the LNR and ZL-ZR different between the two of them, and that is something that you may want to consider. Obviously, you also have wired versus wireless. I have not noticed any lag, delay, latency, anything along those lines, which is something that I've come to expect out of Retrobit and their Platinum line of controllers. Battery life so far seems very good. I've played, quite a bit on this without any battery life issues and whatnot, and I really didn't charge these this one a whole lot. One thing I know many people know that I have been using the Hyperkin wireless 2.4 gigahertz Super NES controller for quite some time. I've been a big fan of that controller. The dongle on that is shorter than what the Retrobits is. Above and beyond that, I mean, from a comfort standpoint and everything, this nails it. This will probably be my primary Super Nintendo, Super Famicom controller moving forward. Probably won't use the USB one much, but I'm also not someone who uses emulators or things along those lines. Overall, I'm extremely impressed and happy with the overall performance on these controllers. Let's go ahead, let's wrap things up. So in the end, what do I think about the Legacy 16 2.4 gigahertz wireless and wired USB controllers? They're excellent. They're really, really good. My concerns that I had about the D-pad and the button travel, pretty much unfounded. There was nothing to worry about there. Button presses felt great. You saw on Street Fighter just exactly how well both of them really did work. I was really happy with the overall performance on both of these. No noticeable lag, no delays as far as input, anything along those lines. And it didn't matter if I was going to my Super Famicom, my Super NES, or to the Switch playing behind me here. They just work. Now, one thing I will say is that on the wireless version, I do wish the shoulder button configuration was what the wired version has, especially if you are playing on the Super NES Online on the Switch. The ZL and ZR do not work the same as L and R if you are playing the Super NES Online. I just prefer that shape and feel, but it's a controller that I've been using for 30 plus years, so that's just a familiarity thing. The fact that these are kind of raised and scalloped, I can definitely feel my way around as I'm playing, and they feel great. Battery life on the wireless version is excellent. 10-foot long cable on the wired version is great too. The home button works perfectly. The capture button works perfectly. I mean, they just work. I mean, in the end, that's all that I was looking for, and that is exactly what both of these delivered. Now, as I mentioned, Chris over at Game Dads did have an issue with his. I didn't have any of those such issues, so I'll be talking to him actually probably before that you see this video to kind of let him know what my experiences are. Now, if you are looking for either the 2.4 gigahertz wireless or the wired USB version, head on over to CastlemaniaGames.com. Ryan has both of them in all colors on the website on there. And the cool thing is, when you order through CastlemaniaGames.com, you earn what's called Castle Cash. It's his rewards program that basically the more you spend, the more you earn and can use towards future purchases. And Castle Cash it's just like cash. So if you've got 20 bucks in Castle Cash, you've got $20 to spend at the castle. The other thing you can use too is promo code ROCKSOLID10 to save 10% off of most items on the website. Not sure if these are, or if it applies to these or not. Try it in the cart and it'll let you know almost instantaneously. And sign up for his email newsletter because he has 15% off discount codes and coupons in those. So pretty cool. Thank you, Ryan, for everything that you do for the community. Plus, he's got retro and modern games on there too for the Switch, for the NES sometimes, for the Super NES, so very cool on there too. Now, if you do have any other comments or questions, as always, feel free to leave them below in the comments section. You can also go ahead and email me at rocksolidmail@gmail.com. You can send me a message on Twitter at RockSolidStudios. We are on Facebook at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions and Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK. Now, I just want to take a second too to thank all of the people who help support this channel. First of all, thanks to Retrobit for sending us these for testing. They're not seeing this video before it goes live. They are not approving the content. These are all my own beliefs, my own thoughts, my own words, and overall my own impressions of these controllers, which I really, really do like. I also want to take a second too to thank all of our YouTube channel members and our Patreon supporters. And thank you for watching, for liking, and commenting on this video. If you like what you see here, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button. That way every time we do upload new content, you're kept the most informed and up to date. These are really, really good. I am super impressed with them, and moving forward, these will probably be my go-to controllers, at least the wireless version for my Super NES and my Super Famicom. The USB version, don't use that a whole lot, so I don't know that that's going to get a whole lot of use out of me. But this, I may be ordering a second one from Ryan at Castlemania Games myself because it is that good. And I have both a Super NES and a Super Famicom. That way I don't have to switch back and forth from one to the other to the other. Just grab the different controller. I am Gary, this has been Rock Solid Productions, and if you are looking for any other videos on other controllers and accessories for the N64, for the Switch, for the Super NES, for the Super Famicom, for the Sega Genesis, those videos are coming up right now. Thank you for watching this video. If you would like to support the future of Rock Solid Productions, you can do so by visiting our Patreon page at patreon.com/rocksolid. For as little as $1 a month, $12 a year, you'll get early access to all of our video content, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. You can also become a channel member here on YouTube for as little as $1.99 a month, and with that, you get a badge next to your name when you comment or post on the channel, and you are acknowledged whether you are a channel member or a Patreon supporter at the end of each and every one of our videos. You can also support the channel by visiting our Teespring store on screen now, where we have t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, masks, cell phone cases, and much more. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.